This is Laura from Africa, aka Rogan Ozrine, back at you with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about why women cause their own pain in dating. And I want to shout out Marvin06 for this video topic. Shouts out to you, man, and the rest of you guys who tune in. I've been able to reply back to you guys because there's been so much crap going on as usual. But let's get into today's video and see the conundrum we're going to hear now, shall we?
This is why I don't date short men. I've already made videos regarding why I don't date short men, but I keep getting questions, so I'm just gonna answer them. So one of the biggest questions I've gotten is when was the last time I've dated a short guy? And the thing to me is short to
Already coming with the hype feel, and it's so funny to me how women say that they can't find good decent men when in reality most of these guys that are under 5'9" or around 5'7", they would be very happy to have a woman in their life that would really appreciate them and would give them a chance. But the problem is most of these guys don't get a chance because they don't meet the height requirement, and most likely they don't meet the looks requirement.
me is if you're my height or shorter than me, right? So I am 6 feet tall. Arguably, apparently, I might be 6'1". But when I'm dating a guy, anyone who's 6 feet or shorter than me is a short guy, okay? To some other women, they probably are tall. Like a 5'10" to somebody who is 5 feet, a 5'10" is gonna be really tall for them, right?
You even have women that are like 5 foot that are still wanting guys that are 6 foot and up. You go on a lot of these Tinder and Bumble profiles, a lot of these women are still saying you need to be 6 feet or get beat. I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. And this girl says that she's 6 foot and arguably 6'1". Okay, you do realize that most of the men you're going to come across who would possibly want to date you seriously as average men are going to be under 5'11", right? Or at 5'11". The only thing is, this woman is just upset because she hasn't met a guy that is attractive in the face and is taller than her, like around 6'3" or 6'4". So when we look at the whole scenario of these women saying they can't find good men, this is what they're pivoting to. Oh, short men, they dislike me because I'm taller than them. No, you dislike the short men because they're short.
For me, that's shorter than me. It's not gonna work for me. And there's many reasons why it's never worked for me. One, I've always had to deal with jealousy. And it comes out in various ways too. I've had an ex who told me he didn't like the fact that when I walked into a room that people would look at me.
Okay, that's going to come with the territory, and most of the guys that you're talking about are these shorter men. Are very few short men who have felt this way towards you, because I can guarantee you guys, as I said before, women do not regularly ask men out. So she's sitting up here talking about, oh, short men get jealous of me because I'm taller than them, so naturally that means a man should be taller than a woman. Okay, you do realize that you're not even asking men that are shorter than you out. You're only trying to go after the guys that are taller than you. And common sense would tell this girl, right? The guys that are going to be taller than you, they're not going to take you seriously, because most likely, if this guy has a good face as well, he's going to have other matches of women. And this is something that women really get wrong. And it's sad that they don't understand that they're limiting themselves whenever they place height standards, because that guy who's shorter than you, that you refuse to go up to and approach yourself as a woman nowadays, he could be the perfect man for you, but yep, you put ridiculous height standards on him.
As a 6 feet tall girl as well, I like to wear heels. I don't want to limit myself for wearing heels just because I'm taller. So when I'm wearing heels, I can end up being 6'3", 6'4", okay? I've dated a guy who was 6 feet tall, and he hated the fact that I wore heels. And he was like, well, I don't like the fact that you tower over me.
And notice these men who say that they hate that this woman is towering over them. These seem like men who have been able to pull dates regularly. Now they might have a good income or a good influence, and that's something that she's most likely leaving out. But generally speaking, as an average man in 2025, they're going to be taking everything they can get. We as men, usually, for a lot of us, are going to take what they can get, even if it's a tall woman that's very pretty. So this right here just shows you that a lot of women have really killed their chances at dating because they're not trying to connect and have that emotional bond with men anymore. And sadly, a lot of women find that out when they get older and they become less available in the dating market. But let's get into the next video.
I never get DMs from men. Or I do, but super rare. And obviously because my content is for
Right off the rip, we have a abundant lie. What woman that has social media is not getting regular DMs from men? Your social media is out there, your influence is out there, especially if this girl does certain content like live streaming or whatever she's doing. So if you're out there on social media as a girl, you already have a big pool of men that are gravitating towards you. What it is that men message you, but you don't notice them. And this is what a lot of women don't even realize themselves, that they're not attracted to a lot of men, which is another sad reality.
girls, so I only talk to women. But when I do get DMs from men, I can see them. Like they stand out because I don't get them that often. Tell me why today I got a DM from a man and I was like, ooh, he's attractive from his profile.
Now, she just said it. He's attractive from his profile picture. Now, going back to what she said about not regularly getting DMs from men, what it is that you don't find those men attractive that you got DMs for, but this one guy, you obviously found him attractive. And let's find out what happens after this, right?
Picture, right? I don't usually open their profile picture, let alone accept the message request, but I go to his profile and I can see his pictures, and he's like 35, maybe to 37. My cup of tea. But then I
But notice always when women have that ideal guy that they want all along, that even when they get that some type of strand of a man that's well seasoned, he might be aged well, he might be tall, he might be still attractive, there's always a but. He's lacking in something. And this is what modern dating has created for a lot of women. It's designed for women to literally self-destruct their own dating lives because they've been presented with so many options. And the most brutal reality is, for a lot of women, they haven't went on an actual healing journey from all of the toxicity from their exes in the past, all of the standards for increased handsome standards for men that have been really brainwashed into these girls. We already know that women are always going to want guys that they think look the best. And the thing is, this is very just become like a really verified thing throughout every culture. There's a difference. But in today's westernized society, a lot of these women, they don't know how to emotionally connect with men over anything unless they have the looks, money, and status.
look at his profile and he's following 7,000 people. 30,000 and only 200 people follow him. Why, men? Why? And I'm just like, I have 130,000 followers and I only follow 600 people.
Now notice how she starts flexing her Instagram like, oh, he's following more people than people that follow him. Oh, I have a bunch of more followers than him. Now notice the type of narcissism behind that comment. What normal grown person sits up there and says, oh, my followers somehow makes me more important than you as a human being, when in reality, if this girl was willing to heal herself emotionally and get away from this type of Western controlled society of just negative influence on how men and women view each other, she actually would have a chance at actually finding a man that's somewhat good enough for her. Because I can guarantee you, this girl has made lots of huge mistakes in the past of dating men that were toxic men, and instinctively, women already know the type of men they're getting involved with. That's why you see women gravitating towards certain men that have been locked up before, men who are very abusive, because a lot of times these women grow up around men as well. Like some of their fathers were abusive, and the males around them probably were not the best role models. But a lot of these women have to instinctively know that they're setting themselves up for failure. And this is why I tell you, men as well, for you guys, speaking for all of the men out there, right? The things that you chase in life, they can be easily erased. And I will repeat that. The things that you chase in life, they can be easily erased. So whatever you're chasing, you're already showing you're in a state of lack of. So when something has found you unworthy of having it, like a lot of these girls do out here, or whether it's a job opportunity dealing with your family, when something finds you unworthy of having its admiration and attention, then you need to learn to move yourself away from that and go towards making yourself into a better man and finding ways to cope with this dark reality we live in.
Stingy with who I follow. And it's just the most unattractive thing ever. It just shows how much self-control they lack and discipline, and
How does that show a lack of self-control and discipline? How do you know he's not following these people with the hopes of building up his social media? And even though you can argue that a lot of these men are followers out here, they're easily swayed by female beauty and want to be involved with everyone else. You can argue that. And however, the thing is, a lot of men want to build themselves up socially as well. But these type of women don't even give these type of men a chance to even show them that they can treat them right. Now, this very man could have been a man that could have treated her well, been romantic to her, and did all the things that she wanted. But women don't want men that do everything for them. They want men that do the opposite, that's very good looking, obviously has a bunch of money, and just other superficial standards to them. And this is why these modern women fail in dating the way they do. But let's get to the last video, shall we?
I cannot stress this enough. Men are not worth settling for in any circumstance, any way, shape, or form. It's not worth it. Like, we're so indoctrinated to believe that, like, we have to get married, we have to.
Listen to the pain in her voice as she says that men are not worth settling for. Where do you men think that comes from? Not just from all the indoctrination of women being told that, oh, you can be independent, that men don't care about you, they're never going to love you, so only take care of yourself. Where else do you think that comes from? Ask yourself, what type of household was she raised up in? What type of mother did she have around her? Was her mother involved with her father that could have been possibly an abusive man? And then this created a cycle of her telling her daughter right here, her mother possibly, right? Oh, don't believe men, don't trust them. You see how your dad is. Or she saw her mom, right, try to date other men who failed. And yeah, that's one of the reasons to why that could have happened. Or she got out into the real world and she came across a lot of men that she thought was the ideal prince for. And a lot of women get told lies as well by a lot of these men. But notice the very few percentage of men who can get women are the ones that are steady up here lying to these girls and telling them, oh, I can take care of you. A lot of these handsome guys, men with money, guys who know, oh, I can get this girl in a heartbeat because I'm the few percentage of man that they find attractive on the physical hierarchy of intimacy and romance. These are the type of men that these women are being set up by. And it's a very sad reality once you break down the psychological just damage these girls have been through.
Like, aspire to, like, having a relationship, having a man in our lives. Like, the goal shouldn't be to get married. The goal should be to be happy. So if a man in your life is not making your life better, easier, happier, more enjoyable, like, there's no reason he should be in your life. At least when men settle.
So if a guy isn't making your life happy and enjoyable, he shouldn't be in your life. But yet she refuses to acknowledge that there are a lot of men who are single, very lonely men who would be more than glad to worship the ground that she walks on, treat her like a queen every day. There's men out here who are so love depraved. They don't have a physical touch in their life to where they would be willing to do anything, fight off just any war to be with this woman. But these women don't understand that the very men that they're talking about, that they want them to treat them well, these women do not find them physically attractive. And this is why physical attraction is such a very important game. There is no number or game or just magical words or charisma, good personality, or actions you can do to get a woman attracted to you. She needs to come on to you all by herself. And she has to be the one pursuing you. But a lot of these women aren't going to tell you that because this is how they keep their game going. If women just said off the bat, okay, I only want men who look a certain way. I want a guy that's this height. I want him to have this type of income. I want him to act this way as well, along with being attractive. I want him to play these type of games. Then that ruins their card that they use to manipulate the dating market. So this should already show you right here that these types of women have dealt with men in the past who have emotionally just damaged their inner child to where they aren't even able to receive love.
For a partner, settle. They get like a personal assistant, a house manager, a nanny, a chef, a therapist. What do women get when we settle for a man that treats us like...
But see, this shows you that a lot of women live in separate realities than men living. And even when a man gets married in today's day and age, or even back then, a lot of these men end up in less intimate bedroom settings. They don't have any type of passion. They don't do activities with their wives because their wife is most likely trying to work. They're getting away from the house. They're hanging out with their friends, or possibly they're dealing with other men because they don't find the guy to be one of the most important things in their lives that they're married to. So they need to fill that void with other things. So I don't think this woman is aware of how much suffering and just emotional ill that men go through. And if this girl was able to turn into a man for a day or two, she would instantly understand that, okay, women have it so much easier to where whenever they're able to be at a certain age and pick the men that are nerdy, that are, good to them, the men that will always treat them right. Whenever they get that chance to pick those men, they have it very good. But once they let those opportunities go, they end up with such hurt in them, such emotional just trauma to where they can't even love again or receive love themselves. That's what's so sad about the modern dating market is men and women, both our minds have been poisoned to look at each other as commodities that are always replaceable. And for the man, he really doesn't have a choice. He has to latch on to what he can get. The very few percentage of men are going to be able to outpace the dating market and get other women. If you're not a very attractive man, if you don't have money, if you don't have connections, you will never ever know what it's like to receive a form of genuine connection, especially if you don't have the looks. But women like this aren't going to understand, and they need to go on a self-healing journey to where they can actually look inside and say, okay, I've caused my own problems. I've caused my own issues. I've projected this type of view onto men because of the choices and actions that I took to choose certain men that seemed exciting and exhilarating to me at a young age. And most likely they're still going to be doing it in their mid 30s. But these women are going to have to learn the hard way that they create their own pain. They create their own fate to be carved at a pace of just emotional self-destruction that is very bleak to see once you break it down. And this is why I tell you guys to stay away from modern dating and focus on yourself because it's not worth it. There is nothing you can get out of it other than just you losing yourself continuously. So, to my guys out there, make sure you're keeping yourself well. Start tapping in with yourself, sitting with your emotions. If you know that you've been deemed as unattractive, then you have to accept the cards that were given to you. And if something comes along the way, then you can possibly entertain it. But if some girl doesn't ever come along the way, that's just how it is. We live in a new, different era of dating. So you need to modify your mind. You need to upgrade yourself from a higher perception of understanding to where you can look at things from a non-physical standpoint of not wanting and needing pleasure so much because you can give yourself that. But You guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I'd highly appreciate it. This video was very long, but this was a very just big and deep breakdown of how dating is just horrified, and women have sadly caused their own pain in the dating market even more, and it's going to get worse in the West especially, guys. But you guys take care. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern women. Thank you.